I'm hiding the identity of this particular tourist here, but you can see on the top of it. Let me bring this up here. You can see not me, but the police officer here, and her post on the social media threads was some lady called the cops on me today because I was using a wall outlet outside to charge my phone. It was dark, cold, and rainy, and I was just trying to get back to my Airbnb on my bike. I hate people so much. And the Japanese police were called on this. This is an international tourist, I believe from the United States. You can see the police officers there doing his job. Somebody did call. Not a lot of people are seeing this. He just posted it random. I don't know why it popped up in my threads. And I'm just going like this. Not another one. But this kind of thing, it seems to be happening so often right now in Japan, where like common sense stuff is completely being missed by tourists that are coming here, international tourists. The thing that made it really odd was that she posted this on social media. That is weird. Like, and then I went through her threads, and I found that she breaks the law quite a bit. In Japan, this is quite bad. Here, check this one out here. I want to show you, first of all, to put it in perspective, who exactly this person is here. Or the kind of person that she is here. So, she's right now driving in one of those Mario Karts with her smartphone, which is a crime in Japan, quite a big crime. She's driving and filming. This is huge no-no. Not only could you cause an accident, you are driving a motor vehicle. This is not an amusement park in Japan. Again, this is not something that made the news. This is something I saw on threads. Like, what the heck are you doing? You can't use a smartphone. And she's like holding the smartphone while driving. Like, what is this? All right, there's laws here. So, you know, in 2019, Japan tightened penalties for the use of smartphones and other mobile hand devices. This is like an old law now, tripling the fine. The number of serious distracted driver crashes fell as a result of this. All right, so tougher penalties come in effect in December 29. You can go to jail for it. Maximum fine for such behavior was raised, but you could also go to jail for up to, what is it, like 10 years or something? So this is kind of especially because you're going to be causing an accident. It's just like this person has no common sense. And this is posted on their threads account on social media. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. How dumb can somebody be? I hate doing these videos, but it's important for you to know that people are watching what you do. And coming from the United States, I'm pretty sure that this tourist came from the United States here. You cannot put your smartphone out there. But I use it just to highlight. Now let's go back into the original post here, all right, where she's getting arrested and she just hates people. All right, what disturbed me most was that some people were on her side. All right, I'm gonna put this over here. I'm hiding their identities because I really don't want to get in the middle of this, although I think this story is worth it. I'm in the middle. I'm like literally in the middle of this. Hey, man, the people in these replies are insane. Have you ever been stranded? Have you ever had no phone battery in a foreign country? Sometimes a little juice of your phone is a matter of life and death. It's called being understanding, empathetic, sweaty. Look it up. The vast majority, you can hear the violence in the background. The vast majority of people don't want to break the law and put themselves in such a situation. Geez, people, don't you get it? Oh no. And then the response here is, how could you hate people for your own wrongdoing? What you did was theft in Japan. You have stolen electricity from someone you don't even know. If you needed help, you could have just asked nicely, etc. I understand it's raining. Folks, if you need to charge your phone, go to the convenience store. There's a reason why they sell batteries, portable batteries at the convenience store for a reason. The portable batteries and the wires to connect into your phone are at every single convenience store in Japan. You gotta pay for it. You can't go on the side of the street. And there's no loss of convenience stores in Tokyo, because this is in Tokyo. Trust me, that's in Tokyo. Tokyo police officer. So there you go. There's no more excuse, all right? You can go to a cafe, but if you're stuck in a rain or you're trapped, you go to a convenience store and you can charge your phone there. You pay. You can't steal electricity from the street. You can't just take your wire and plug it into an electrical outlet, because I think this is like a law. Shouldn't this be a law like in other countries? I think it kind of is, isn't it? Isn't it? Like I have here as a prop, a electrical outlet, a charger for a smartphone here. I cannot just put this in the electrical outlet and stand, let's say, on the street here. And I know it looks quiet. I know it looks desolate. Someone somewhere is going to see you do it, and they're going to call the police because it is theft. It doesn't matter if you're a tourist. They don't care if you're stranded. Rules are rules, and this is the reason why you come into Japan and having a safe experience. People follow the rules, and if you break the rules and you think this is like, it's okay. I don't know what's going on in cities like San Francisco or New York City. I guess you can understand it maybe, but not in Japan. Whatever goes in San Francisco and New York City, that's one thing. But when it comes to Japan, you can't go and just start taking power. Someone pays for this, all right? Doesn't matter. And the reason why is because I learned this. When I was hitchhiking like 20 years ago, I might have been in the same kind of situations. I didn't know if it was stealing or not. If you're in a public park or something and you see an electrical outlet, is it stealing if you put it in a public park? Just the question is, it's one question if you do it from somebody's apartment complex. It's another one if you're doing it from like a park that has it. There's a lot of gray areas with this. But I asked my Japanese friends, why is this stealing electricity such a strict thing? Why? I mean, it's in the name, stealing electricity, which is what you're doing. It's because there are people live very close in Japan. You can see like the apartments are really close together. And there have been instances where people, they just don't have money and they will find a way to use a power outlet in a neighbor's house and start to use that power for weeks and months. And this seemed to be kind of a common occurrence. And so they criminalized it very strongly. This is what I was told by my friends. But, there's some gray areas. But usually if you just ask, you go into a cafe or a restaurant that's open 24 hours and you ask, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be okay. Or they're going to direct you to a convenience store where you can pay $10 and you can get a portable battery that will allow you to plug into your smartphone, or you'll find a place where you can plug it in. Every convenience store has mobile batteries, every one of them. WRX Turbo's in the house. Nice to see you. Faisal FM from Singapore, Midnight Snack Run. This kind of snack is one that you eat with your ears and not one with your mouth. I know about Johnny Somali in Korea, who has been arrested. He hasn't changed. He hasn't learned. Just don't come to Japan. They got a case on him like this thick. There's a reason why he's keeping his distance. They should extradite him back here to serve the rest of his sentence. Let's talk about Korea and Japan having a friendship and extradition treaty. They should bring him back where he can serve the rest of his time in jail, which probably was in the years for what he has done. In many ways, I don't know how tourists can get off so easy, to be honest with you. I wanted just to show you some of the other comments before we move on from this. A lot of it's like just basic common sense. Unfortunately, using someone's outlet without permission is considered stealing in Japan. Yes, use your common sense. Although this person doesn't seem to have it, because she's here riding a Mario Kart while filming it with her smartphone, which is also against the law. All right. I think you all know that. A lot of people have that feeling like, oh, I gotta take that picture. You can't do it in this case. All right. What makes you assume? And when this woman posted it, like, what was she thinking here, right? What makes you assume that it's okay to use private property without permission? I just wonder. In some countries in Southeast Asia, you could be beaten to death by people if they caught you stealing. I don't know about that. I guess this person's from Southeast Asia. Here's a tip for you if you get in a similar situation in Japan. Go to the police box, yes, or convenience store, yes. Explain your situation. Japanese police are actually helpful. Very true. They might even lend you some money if you really need it. someone with some common sense here. You can go into a police box. This person's from the United States. From the way she was dressed, probably Las Vegas, maybe working in one of those casinos. I don't know. I don't judge. It's hard not to when you see some of the pictures. Nevertheless, everybody's different, and you respect those differences. But when you come to a foreign country, probably not the brightest bulb in the sharpest knife, brightest bulb. Use any metaphor you want. But when you come from the United States to Japan, I've never had any issues with American police. I know that we see that on TV all the time. You know, I support our policemen, and we need law and order. We need them, right? They're quite kind of busy. Probably if you went to a police station in the United States and asked for some help, maybe you wouldn't get it in that way. But in Japan, the police, they don't actually have a lot of stuff to do. Crime is solved pretty good. People don't commit that many crimes that I know of. They're mostly like helping people. Usually you can get directions from the police box. That's the thing that keeps the police officers the busiest. And I've been told that if sometimes you're stranded or you're lost, or you can't, let's say you don't have money for your hotel, or you've been mugged, or not mugged, but you lose your wallet, that they'll allow you to sleep in the police station or the police box until morning, or they'll help you. They'll give you money. Sometimes the police will give you money out of their pockets if they need you, if you really need some help. And I found myself, I like the kindness of the police officer in Japan should not be taken for granted. I mean, let's say it should be recognized. They're super kind. They're very helpful, and they do more than just protect and serve. They are like the tourist information from time to time, but they give it directions to Japanese people as well. Yeah. So you can count on them. You're not going to get beaten by the police and all this other stuff. This is stuff that probably does happen, but you have to do a lot. Just like Johnny Somali had to do a lot before the police started to come down on him. Probably too much, but that's the case here. And, you know, she probably was just questioned and let go. I don't know what happened. Typically, if you break the law, but it's nothing big, they make you sit in the police station for 12 hours and waste your time, which is more valuable sometimes. And if you do get stopped by the police, look, they're just reacting to something. They have rights. It's good for you to understand what your rights are, but unless you're trying to break the law, you don't really need to know. I find it funny, going through people's trash cans is considered stealing, even though it's thrown away for some reason. Some people say it's illegal. Privacy, it's when you put it in, even though it's in a trash bag, first of all, the trash receptacles, but I don't know, that's a tough one. If it's in a public trash can, I think it belongs to the city now. Once objects are put in a public trash can, it belongs to the city or whoever's in charge of it. They're the custodian of the trash, which it's kind of weird. But in Japan, if you throw it away in a residential neighborhood, that's still the property of the person or the property of the apartment complex who's the custodian of it. So you can't steal trash in Japan. That's actually true. Just like personal property laws in Japan don't make a lot of sense to a lot of people outside of Japan, but they're really strict, and they're really, sometimes it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a confusing thing to me. After the Great Tohoku earthquake in 2011, I remember like that tsunami washed so much stuff inland. A lot of that stuff, months after the tsunami, they couldn't move it because of what I was told, because of personal property and laws. I could be wrong on this, but I remember driving up there volunteering to take food in there, and my friend told me, he goes, look, Japan's personal property laws makes it hard, because unless they can find the owner or find out whose car that was, they can't move it from the position that it's in. I'm not too sure on that, but I think that's really really strong laws that they have here to do that. Just like if you put your smartphone on a table in a cafe to reserve it, that's somebody's personal property that's now on the table, so you can't take that. That would be stealing. To remove it, you actually, there's a lot of gray area. I mean, it's all case by case, but in general, you can't do it. And personal property also is the electricity, but you can't go into somebody's house. You can't go into, just because you see an electrical outlet, you can't do that. If you're in a restaurant, you better ask the manager. Most of the time they'll say yes. If they say no, that's okay. Go to the convenience store. Or if you're in a tough situation like this person says that she was in, you go to the police box. I think what we can do is, from her stupidity, and this is utter stupidity, we can learn from this, is I think the greatest point from this live stream. It is midnight. I couldn't sleep. There's a storm coming. I'm wearing shorts. There's a cold front coming as well. October is about to turn cold, so tomorrow my shorts are gone. So I thought I would enjoy this windy day for just a little bit more and take some of your questions. This is a live stream. It's bizarre, isn't it? It's bizarre. There were a lot of really interesting questions here, but I hope that you all kind of learned something from this live stream. And what made me really happy was, like, this girl who stole the electricity and the police came and questioned her. She must have been there for quite a long time for the police to come and find her and then catch her. She wasn't just there to get her phone charged. Like, you got to be there for like 5 minutes or more. But there are people out there like this commenter who obviously, from the way she does it, doesn't understand that either. So that means there's maybe 5% of the tourists coming in here that have no common sense at all. I'm shocked you're out at this late. That's true. I couldn't sleep. Look, I want to hit different time zones for you guys as well. I noticed that I always stream like around 11 to 2 p.m. recently. Great for Hawaii, not so great for the rest of the world. So welcome to the nighttime. I could take you around a little bit, perhaps. What do you guys think about this? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below as I walk around Tokyo, talking about stealing. Theft. I'm talking about bad behavior and lack of common sense by tourists coming to Japan. Just one of many. And this person's not like a very popular Instagrammer or anything like this. It's those people, like the one from Chile yesterday that I was talking about, who she did this only 2 days ago and it's major news. It's like the big TikTokers and YouTubers are the ones that are getting caught. But what about the little people, like this person? She's not going to get caught, right? She's here driving with her smartphone. She posts this on social media. She's in Japan breaking the law. There's a cop right there. Obviously not the bright, like, there's a cop right there. She just passed it. Obviously, she's not very bright, this person. What are you doing? Oh, there's a cop right there. Do you see that? Not good. Not good. This is common sense type of stuff. You don't drive and use your smartphone, especially in a foreign country. They will arrest you. They will fine you. You will, even if they don't arrest you, you're going to waste like a day or two of your trip. That's even worse than being arrested, because if you get arrested, then at least they'll feed you. Sometimes they don't feed you, all right? Yeah, you know what, Ellis? Ellis, I'm gonna have to time you out, I think. Ellis gives me a super chat for $50. I have to time you out. No, I'm not gonna do that, but how dare you try to tempt me with a midnight snack? There's a 7-Eleven around the corner. I'm not gonna do it, Ellis, but your heart is in the right place. How dare you tease me? That's rough stuff. I'll have to come back on another day to do it, I think. The wind is really getting strong. There's like it feels like a typhoon almost is coming, but yeah, there's 7-Elevens everywhere, and the point is, if there's a 7-Eleven or convenience store everywhere, there's also a power supply or a place for you to charge your phone. This is actually, I'm kind of glad to do this live stream, because this is an issue that I think a lot of people probably run into. Like, if your phone dies, and why aren't you carrying a portable battery? Everybody has one of those if they travel, right? So if you don't have one of those, what do? Well, you go to the convenience store, talk to the police, or I don't know, ask people. But the one thing I can tell you what you don't do, you don't steal power, all right? And like, you don't start looking at people's apartments and look for outlets for you to plug in. You're probably gonna find it, right? If you just go in there, I'm sure you find an outlet, but now you're trespassing. It's easy for you to get or she was drunk. But then why would you film it and put it on social media like it's a smart thing to do? Probably one of the stupidest things. I don't know. Some people, I don't know what makes people tick sometimes, because sometimes it's really weird. It's really weird stuff. All right, everybody, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I started this live stream a little bit raw. I was like, is the mic plugged in? Because I've had some issues with that in the past. But I want to hear from you, and tomorrow maybe I'll take you on a walking trip around Tokyo or something like that. Hopefully the weather's nice on a Sunday, but if not, I'll do something indoors. I don't know, but take care, everybody. Good night. I'm gonna go to bed. There's a lot of drunk people on a Saturday night. I'm usually inside in bed at this time, but I'm noticing there is a lot of drunk people on a Saturday night. Should that be common sense? Why don't I know this stuff? All right, see you guys. Mata ne.